Over in the pages of DC Comics, John Stewart's latest ongoing series has quickly risen to one of my very favorite titles over at the publisher. Really watching John Stewart battle the multiversal threats of the Revenant Queen and the Radiant Dead has created a fascinating story element over for this latest Green Lantern series. Plus, in the last issue of Green Lantern War Journal, we even got to see John upgrade his gear with a brand new experimental ring. My name is Araco Brannock, and today, let's go ahead and see if John is able to team up with some of his multiversal lanterns to take on the Revenant Queen. Before we get deeper into the video, want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button over on this video. The hunt begins. Suited up with new armor and his newly forged experimental Green Lantern ring, John Stewart leads his allies Shepherd and Prophet Rayner into the rainforest on a race against time to stop the Radiant Dead's invasion of Earth. Can John destroy the Darkstar ring and save Earth before succumbing to the deadly infection himself? The Revenant Queen's mysterious bond with John Stewart is revealed in this pivotal issue. Green Lantern War Journal is written over from Phillip Kennedy Johnson, featuring artwork from Montos. We have colors from Adriano Lucas, letters from Christopher Sotomayor, letters from Dave Sharpe, and a cover coming in over from Montos and Matt Herms. Really appreciate the way that this cover features a collage-esque setting, almost like a movie poster over for Green Lantern War Journal 5. We have the Revenant Queen over in the background, as well as Steel's surprising appearances in the main series, plus some of the other characters of the Radiant Dead like Varen are also featured towards the bottom of this page as well. I also think this cover just does a phenomenal job showcasing all of the really interesting page designs that Montos is able to lend to the interiors of this title. Want to extend a very fast thank you to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting this preview and discuss a little bit more about the really fascinating interiors and designs from Montos. So really think that over on this page, there's a great sense of design, there's a wonderful element of negative space, and some really thoughtfully written prose over from Phillip Kennedy Johnson as well here. I really like how Montos is able to accommodate the visuals with the fascinating glimpse over at John Stewart, as well as that negative space introducing all of the other narration and kind of smaller panel bleeds towards the bottom of the page here too. Also thought it was really fascinating how Montos was able to visually communicate the spread that the Radiant Dead has had across the Earth, and Phillip Kennedy Johnson also accommodates the interesting visuals over on this credits page by referencing all the kind of like injustice that some of the threats of the Radiant Dead has caused over during the infection here. I also found that this double page spread over for this series did a great job of showing just how introspective Green Lantern War Journal can be as a main comic book title. Really, once again, watching John reminisce and explore all of the dark feelings he has towards the spread of the Radiant Dead across the Earth is a super compelling plot point and way to kick off some of the plot elements over on Green Lantern War Journal 5. Following the examination of John over on the spread of the Radiant Dead on Earth, we even get a really tense exchange between Natasha, Steel, and John Stewart. I really like how Natasha and Steel are talking directly to John about his mother's health condition. The way that John has repeatedly been introduced to his mother across several issues of Green Lantern War Journal has made this one of the most important character relationships and dynamics across this series. I particularly found that Green Lantern War Journal 5 did a really phenomenal job advancing this subplot in a super emotional way. It felt like John's mother was just so delusional in this certain context, and the only way to really find a way that John would be able to make his mother happy again is by forging a new lantern construct. The way that this ties in the character of Ellie as well as John's family really brings out this element of tragedy over to the main series that I think helps Green Lantern War Journal feel like more than just your average superhero comic book. I also like how Johnson really gives way to some of the tension in the conversations between Steel, Natasha, as well as John in the issue about his mother's condition too. Adriano Lucas delivers some great colors on this issue that also really kind of shows and really varies up some of the dynamics of the issue as well. Adriano Lucas really shows readers that Green Lantern War Journal has multiple tones between being a series where John is battling multiversal threats versus one where he's able to communicate some of the really dramatic repercussions that are happening within the state of his own family. I really love the page where Montos was able to show the direct mental state over for John Stewart's mother and found it to be an incredibly emotional aspect over in the core series. One of my favorite elements, too, about the Amazon rainforest was how it introduced the elements of the Darkstars with all of their logos carved into various trees. This did a really phenomenal job driving up the tension of the main Green Lantern series and also taking an aspect that was in Green Lantern's previous continuity to be analyzed under a different context within the new one. Also, the way that the Green Lanterns of the United Planets showed up to really cause a thorn in the side of both John Stewart as well as the Shepherd really increased my enjoyment and opened up the scope of the issue a little bit more. It's also super fascinating to see how Johnson is able to introduce ideas and contexts like the United Planets as well as the Revenant Queen and just show them recontextualized across issue to issue. Also, I found it really fascinating how, in the last couple pages, the Revenant Queen calls out John Stewart for focusing more on the infection spreading within his body as opposed to the one spreading throughout the planet. So, at the end of the day, here, I really think Green Lantern War Journal issue 5 is a tremendous main issue of the core comic book series. The way that this title expands on the fight between John Stewart and the Revenant Queen opens up a fascinating plot element on the main title here, but I ultimately found John's relationship over with his mother as well as Ellie to be the driving force of this comic book series. I think those plot elements are going to stay with me for quite some time. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts on Green Lantern War Journal issue 5? Did you like this chapter as much as I did? What were some of your opinions on the series so far? Thanks so much for coming to check out our video review over on Green Lantern War Journal, and we'll be back to see wherever this series and the Revenant Queen are headed next. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.